created by the intern team here at LTV to highlight emerging artists and creative entrepreneurs. I'm Galen Davey, an intern here at LTV and a film student at Swarthmore College. Today we have Lillie Minskoff joining us, a young artist and small business owner and a creative girl boss extraordinaire. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your work?
I am an art student at Pitzer College, and so I kind of have been involved in art my whole life. And recently I've kind of got more into selling my ceramic pieces and jewelry that I've been making, like beaded jewelry and like little ashtrays and jewelry trays and stuff like that. But everything else, artwork, kind of involved in all mediums of art.
That's cool. Are you wearing any of your pieces today?
Yes, I am. I have my earrings on right now. These are little mushroom earrings I made. This evil eye necklace I have, and some other like chokers and stuff. And then little rings and bracelets that I always wear.
And how do you describe the style of your art and your work?
I would say that it is kind of all over the place, especially in my ceramic pieces. But with my jewelry, I kind of just like to have a good variety of like colorful and bright pieces, but then also calm and like beachy vibe, especially for the summertime.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what inspires the style of your jewelry or your ceramics or your other art?
I don't really know that I have any big point of inspiration. I kind of just, once I start a piece or start on working on like a project or something, I kind of just go. I don't really, yeah.
And when did you start with your jewelry?
I started making jewelry probably like 2-3 years ago, and then started to sell it a little more, just once I was like started to produce a lot more, and then I was like, oh, my friends might be interested in this, might as well put it out there and see if anyone wants to buy it.
When did you decide you wanted to turn your jewelry making into a business?
Once I made my like art account, just like Arts by Lillie, I started posting kind of everything on there, and I was kind of like, oh, if people are interested in purchasing it, like, it couldn't hurt. But it was more, I was just making it for fun, just making it, just because I literally, beading is just relaxing, so it was kind of just
That's good.
a good time to produce everything.
How did you decide on the location for your business?
So I work at Main Beach at the Beach Hut, and my boss was kind enough to let me set up a little display there, because, I get a lot of business in the summer, and it's just one more thing for people to look at when they come in to get food.
Right.
So I have like a little jewelry stand with all my necklaces and bracelets, all my pieces there.
And do you find any challenges in trying to sell your art at the beach?
No, it's not like my main focus on, like when I'm working there, because I also just work at the register at the Beach Hut, so it's kind of just a side business if I need.
So what's your background in art?
I have just been doing art my whole life. I've always just loved drawing and painting from like when I was little, and I recently, my sophomore year, decided I wanted to major in art. So now I'm kind of just getting involved into taking art classes and everything at school, and I don't know, just always been very involved in anything art, any medium.
And do you think taking art classes at school has changed the way you think about art or the way you do art?
I'd say so. I mean, my professors definitely influence how I think about like what my projects are gonna be and how I like need to think about like displaying them and how it's gonna affect the audience when I present it in a gallery or anything like that, which is definitely something I never really thought about because I was usually just making art for myself, just for fun. But yeah.
Nice. Do you have a favorite material or medium of art?
I would say currently ceramics is kind of my favorite. I was taking a beginning ceramics class this past semester, and that was a lot of fun, and it was like the first time I ever took a ceramics class, and it's kind of perfect. Like you get to incorporate all other mediums in there, like painting with like the glazing process and like drawing and stuff. It all gets involved. It's kind of magical.
And do you sell your ceramics as well as your jewelry?
I make like small like jewelry trays and ashtrays and stuff that are ceramic pieces that I will sometimes like sell, but like not my main focus for selling my stuff. Yeah.
Do you ever do custom orders?
Yeah, I'm open to like anything. Like if people see any of my pieces on my account and they're like, oh, like for like I make like fruit ashtrays and stuff like that. So if there's like a certain fruit that I didn't make a post on my account, and people are like, oh, I want a pomegranate. I'm like, all right, I'll make you a pomegranate. Or if there's like a necklace or anything that's like a specific charm or a specific color pattern, I'll like make whatever. Just something more to make.
What's a typical work day look like for you?
On like days off from like working at the beach hut, I'll usually just like sit around my house on my porch and just bead for hours and hours and like whatever. Or if I want to paint one day, I'll just sit and set up like my little easel and just paint. So like, I don't know, just setting up all my materials and just going.
What do you think you've learned from starting and running your own small business?
I'd say it's a lot more work than I thought like it would be. My main focus isn't like my business as much as it is putting my art out there and seeing if people are like interested. But now that I've kind of like started to develop it a little more as a small business, you know, like it's a lot of like work marketing your pieces and like making sure you have like a nice little like business set up. Like at the beach hut, I wanted to make sure that like it was something that people are actually going to look at and be interested in buying. So you know,
Right.
it's like a lot more work than I.
Yeah.
But it's a good time.
How do you go about marketing and selling?
Usually, honestly, I kind of just post whatever I make. It's kind of just put it out there and see what happens.
So do you feel social media is important for your small business?
Definitely. I'd say Instagram. I have my Instagram account, and that's like pretty much the only place I really put my work and like the way I advertise everything.
How do you come up with the ideas for your fruit trays?
So my fruit trays are like mostly like ashtrays, or at least that's my idea behind them, and like the eyes and the mouth of the piece are kind of like the perfect place for resting like whatever, like if, and just like ashing things. It's kind of like the perfect little setup, like the mouth and everything. And then I like the colorfulness of all the different fruit, and having like oranges and watermelons and whatever is kind of just a fun time to make like those into trays. And people use them for jewelry trays too. I'm like, they're nice.
So you said you plan on pursuing art in the future. Do you have any idea of what that might look like for you? What kind of art you're gonna try out?
Ideally, I'd like to become an art teacher for like elementary school kids. I don't know, I love working with kids, and it's just like chill, relaxed art time when you're working with 7-year-olds. So that's kind of ideally what I'd want to do. And then also I'd have free time to work on my own stuff outside of like teaching and everything, and then carry over my business if I feel like it's something I want to pursue in the future still.
How does your art fit into your everyday life?
Art is very calming and always has been a very calming thing for me, and I often find myself going to like drawing or painting for relaxing, and now beading definitely has become a lot more important in that aspect. So it's always kind of just there to relieve stress and just sit back and relax and watch some TV and do art.
So how does living near the beach impact the art you do?
I'd say that, especially with my jewelry and everything and selling it at the beach, it's kind of like a good marketing point to just kind of make like shells and starfish and kind of incorporate that into my beaded stuff. In like my other art, like with painting and everything, I've always been drawn to doing like landscapes because we live in such a pretty place, like beach, everything outside is beautiful, so it's always nice to kind of just draw inspiration from the nature around here.
Where can people find more information if they're interested in your work?
Well, I'm selling my jewelry at Main Beach this summer in East Hampton, and I also just have my arts account, Arts by Lillie, where I post everything, new pieces, new art from paintings and drawings and whatever, just everything updated on there.
Awesome! Let's go check out Lily's setup at Main Beach, East Hampton. Thanks so much for being here today, Lillie. Be sure to check out her art on Instagram and tune in for more interviews with local artists.